Hi everyone, it's me Jojo, and I have not been doing much on it since December because I've been so busy with everything coming with my brand, my book, and all kinds of things are coming together. I've actually got a foot surgery, we're doing the pre-surgery tomorrow. Should we go into that one first before we get ready for London Fashion Week? So I had a very strange incident. I was in a bar 3 years ago now, and I basically slipped and my foot went like that. And the arch kind of bent in half and something significantly went wrong. And I went to the A&E department in Brighton, which is the Sussex Royal. Oh my goodness me. I had the worst experience there I have ever had in any hospital in my life. It was so poor. We went for an x-ray and basically the x-ray practitioner said, I think you got a fracture. I can see a line. And I was like, oh, I think so, because there's a bone jutting out and my toe's gone in a funny position. So I knew the composition of my bones in my foot had gone off because I've done a biochemistry master's, so I know what I'm talking about when it comes to bones and things of that nature. But I could see something was significantly wrong. It wasn't just swelling, there was a protrusion. And she basically said, no, that's just swelling. And I said, I think that actually isn't swelling, because that's not what my foot looked like before. And I'm very familiar with my foot because I've had years of physio to try and correct my arches. So I know what my arches look like before. I have to go to a chiropractor all the time who does my feet. So I knew what my normal foot looked like, and I knew the bones of my foot because I always get them corrected. So she basically insisted that if I don't actually go and walk on my foot, I would develop a blood clot. And it was totally the wrong information to give someone who had a fracture. What really made it worse was, unfortunately, my mum had a similar accident not too long after. It was about 6 months after she broke her foot. And when we went to the same department, she got a standard of treatment that was absolutely phenomenal. She was 13 hours in the hospital, and she had actually a less significant bone issue than me. So I don't know what the issue was with me. I'm not going to go into the full details of this because I'm still contesting what happened. But I knew something was wrong. After my injury, I spent 3 weeks really unable to walk, which is very dangerous because that could incur a blood clot because you can't move your body, you can't circulate the blood. And I then suffered an injury just trying to go to my local grocery store, and I cut open my knee and had to require more medical treatment. And I was very let down by this because it was the second time within 6 weeks that I'd had an incident at that A&E department that was terrible. And I'm not going to go into the first one because it's not my place to say. But I was very disappointed in it. And I went to my GP, who was horrified by my foot. It was locked in a permanent position where I couldn't oscillate my ankle. And she went, we need to get you to seen by the orthopaedic surgeon ASAP. So I went to the orthopaedic surgeon that was nowhere near my house, and we did a second x-ray, and he wrote and said, oh, basically, Joe, you have got a fracture in that initial x-ray at A&E, and we've got a second x-ray that shows that your bone's in the wrong place. And I was like, well, that's what I was told by the x-ray practitioner, but this doctor said that it was fine. It wasn't fine. So they sent me to get for an MRI, went for the MRI, and then they cancelled 6 appointments that they booked once a month. So I was left literally with no orthotics, no physiotherapy, no outcome for a surgery. And it was just a bit of an ordeal, really, because I kept on thinking back. I made a complaint because I said, I don't understand why I've been given the wrong date for this appointment, why you're not booking me in, why it's taken this long. When I don't even live near the hospital in question, I had to keep on going to the Princess Royal in Haywards Heath, which is quite a distance from where I live in Brighton. And they eventually said, oh, okay, we're sorry, we acknowledge this is taking longer than expected. We'll put you in touch with a different surgeon in Brighton that they could have done the entire time. And then when I went to actually see this surgeon, he said, actually, you've got a dislocated bone in your foot because it's healed at an angle and it was worse than a fracture. And I said, well, obviously I knew that something was up because the x-ray practitioner initially told me, but this person that assessed me did not, and said I should be walking on this injury. And he said, well, I think that's caused more damage than good. So I have to have a foot reconstruction, which involves 3 surgeries. They have to put a pin in my foot. They have to cut off my toe and put my toe back on. It's like a horror show. And he said there's only 60% chance of me getting back to the flexibility I had in my foot before the surgery, to put it in layman's terms. So I'm very angry about it all, because I'm firstly annoyed that I could have had a blood clot develop, and I don't think that that's safe to have told someone misinformation about that, because I failed what they call a 5-step walking test, and she still insisted that I should be walking on this injury. And I'm annoyed that once I did make the complaint, it was revealed to me that she wasn't a doctor, and I wasn't told that she wasn't a doctor. I was specifically told she was. And I've even got the recording. I recorded it because I record everything I do. I recorded it when I was being wheelchaired, and the man said, "We're going to take you to the doctor." So I was very, very, very frustrated by this whole ordeal, and it's been such a long time to actually have my pre-surgery. I had my pre-surgery in Harwood Teeth last November. Not the one that's just been, the one before. It's been over a year of waiting for this actual foot reconstruction, and tomorrow I have to go in. So I haven't been able to make long-term plans in terms of everything that I want to do, because firstly, I can't wear high-heeled shoes with platforms anymore, so I can't do any of the looks I have and all the fabulous things I own. That's number one that's annoying, because I can't do events in the same way I used to. Second thing that's annoying is I find it really difficult to walk long distances now on it. I have to really pace myself. So I can't do things. I used to love walking and bringing my kit everywhere, and it's very difficult when you kind of like can't pick things up in the same way. It's very frustrating. So anyway, I've never had a surgery before. Well, that's not true. I have had surgery, but I've not had a bone break before. I had my eardrums repaired when I was younger, because I was deaf when I was younger, but that's another story. So I've been a bit let down by this situation, and I will be looking at what I can do to stop this happening to other people, because I do think that they were taking the mick with me a little bit based on a few of the comments that were made, and I'm very on the ball with things like that, and I've recorded it. So it was very difficult, really, and I can't believe that people are waiting 3 years for a surgery, and it's so frustrating, and it's such uncanny, like, timing that my mum had a similar injury not too long after mine. But it's wonderful that she's been fully recovered, and it was wonderful also that I was what was correct treatment, because I had to do injections on her every single day for like 6 weeks. There was a yellow injection that I had to learn to do. They didn't even give me an aspirin. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was just totally insane. I think they just wanted to rush me out and sort of trivialise the accident, and they made a joke about me wearing high-heeled shoes and things, and I was like, that's not right. You shouldn't be doing this. And when there's been one person that said I've got a fracture, you can't then go, no, there's not a fracture, once you saw me fail the walking test. So it was just annoying. Anyway, so I've had to do all this work to try and sort of pace myself. So I've got everything lined up to go out whilst I'm in recovery from the surgery. And do you know what's even worse about it? They would even give you an exact date of when you're having the surgery. So I can't like specifically book that time off work. Thank God I'm freelance and I can jiggle it about a bit. But it's just, I don't understand why they've done it like this. It's just gone so wrong. Anyway, my little rant to start with. But we are going to be fine. It's not that big of a deal. I'm super confident about my surgeon. He's amazing. And I'm looking forward to getting more content out. But it's been a bit delayed because of this, because I've been waiting for this pre-surgery and things to start. And I really wanted to launch my new channels, which are all called Beauty Journal. Now, I'll talk a little bit about this before I tell you about what I'm doing today and what I'm wearing and what I've got on, because I really wanted to do a brand new... Actually, let me just jump up 1 second. So I am so excited that I have my 3rd silver award and a gold on the way. I'm very excited about it. It's been such a long time coming, but I have been busy in the background doing things that I have not been publicly sharing on Joseph Harwood, which I'm very proud of. And I've earned my gold award, which is I should have got many, many years ago. It's actually so funny because I was talking about Philosophy Tube a little while ago, and I was just asked to interview her for something. But it was such a different era because I got more views than that her account did, but she got way more subscribers because I think the timing of everything was so different. I did it way before all of this sort of tolerance and sort of language around non-binary and trans stuff, and it's just the way the cookie crumbled. I'm glad to have been the first to do what I did, but at the same time it's like I should have got more from what I did. Definitely, and now I'm getting it all. So it just took a little bit longer, but it was fine. But because of that, I decided that what I want to do going forwards is I want to start doing short form content, which is the type of content that I like to watch, like perfumery videos, like talking about getting ready, talking about story times. And instead of actually doing makeup tutorials, which I love to do, I've done so many of them that I think you guys can go back and watch those. They're all still there in the archive YouTube, and I've still got amazing videos that I still don't think are touchable. They're still really good. So go watch those ones if you want makeup tutorials. But I want to launch Beauty Journal as an extension of my website journal, and I can do it off the cuff kind of thing. I don't have to set up a camera. I can just go and do it from my iPhone, and I can talk about things in a more natural way. And I think because I am so used to working in long form, I've got out of sync kind of things with how I want to... I don't know how to describe it. Like, I feel like I want it to be in a different place. I don't want it to be with my Joseph Harwood YouTube. I want my Joseph Harwood YouTube to be about projects, and a long form project where I set the camera up and we talk about things and I go through brands or whatever I do in my job. That's what I want this channel to be about. But I want Beauty Journal to be like a short form content blog where I can just say, this is what I'm doing today. I'm annoyed today. I'm happy today. I'm going to this place today. And it can be more organic. So I'm very excited about launching this, and I don't really care about how well it does necessarily, because I consider myself to be a legacy creator on a new journey rather than continuing the old journey. So I feel really accomplished with all the old work now, that I feel like I'm ready to begin a new chapter where it's completely just organic and it's not about building onto what I've already built, because I think that stuff has just been so, like, I'm so proud of everything that I've got to do in my job. I'm so happy that it's kind of taking me to where I wanted to go, and I've done so much achievement where I can look back and go like, wow, I was the first person to do this. I've opened up these doors for people, and I'm really proud of myself for doing that. But because I feel like it's very difficult when you've done something that requires your... So funny, we started this talking about the foot injury, but when you suffered an eye injury, the eye injury was way worse than the foot injury, because it was affecting not just my job but my day-to-day existence. And I don't know, I think that it's really important sometimes to, when you've gone through an experience like that is sort of life-changing, and to have my eyesight repaired and to have such amazing sight now, which is it's even better than it was before, which is weird. I want to do things new. I want to start a new chapter. I want to create a new era, and I'm really proud of everything I'm doing. So let me talk about today's activities, because that might be a positive way to conclude this video, and I can share with you some upcoming projects and bits and bobs. So as you guys know, I went to London College of Fashion. I actually was very excited about learning when I was younger that they did a course called the Cosmetic Science degree. So they actually did a BSc to begin with, and then my friend Sinestra found out about this when we were moving to London together initially, and she was like, oh my god, there is a cosmetic development degree in London. And I was like, yes, because she was going to be doing environmental sciences, I think, at one point. And I said, it's at London College of Fashion, obviously it's going to be amazing. And she got into it, and I was like, well, bitch, if you're going to do it, I'm going to do the how too. And I got into it too, and it became an integrated Masters of Science. And I have been very successful as a product designer. We've hit over 2.5 million units sold. I've done all kinds of DEI guidelines in the industry. I've changed the game. I've done government census with the British Beauty Council. I have become the leading LGBT beauty expert in the UK. And I think that as a result of that, I deserve to be accredited by my university, and we've been chatting about it. So LCF have kindly invited me to attend their fabulous London Fashion Week event today, and we have some exciting things coming, and I can't wait to be filming that. But it's just been so amazing. Like, I just filmed a video for the King's Trust 50th birthday, and to really get to this point where it's like a lot of the stuff that I've done is now being taken note of, and that it means something, that I felt really proud about it. And it just feels like I'm collecting what I missed out on before, kind of thing, in some ways. But yeah, so they invited me to attend their London Fashion Week event today, and I didn't really know what to do, because I've done so many different kind of like simplistic looks. Like I kind of have this style, and you can see it within my whole archive of work. Like I like to do it sort of like suity look, kind of like I always joke that it's like the Turks in Final Fantasy VII. I just like a cool suit sometimes, but then the other side of me is that I love really simplistic silhouettes and colour blocking and things that flatter my shape because I'm very tall. And yeah, so I thought, do you know what, I want to go silver today. So I've got this amazing coat. I think it was about £2,000 from Or2, which is a Ukraine business that I really wanted to support when I did my course with Domestika. So we got to work together a little bit then. I love their clothes because they're so creative for menswear, and I love creative menswear. So this is a Vivienne Westwood tunic top. If I stand up a little bit, I kind of like that it's a bit creased and baggy. Like I didn't want to do it with like a steamer or anything because I like that her stuff almost, everything about Vivienne Westwood I like, as you know. Vivienne Westwood bag. I've got hundreds of these stupid Vivienne Westwood bags. Not that they're stupid, but I collect all the archives of them. And then I was going to do something with this, but I think it might be a little bit crazy. So I think we might leave this at home. I don't know what I got this from. It was just some sort of weird tube ring thing. But I thought it might be cool to do like a silver lip. But I think, do you know what? I'm just going to go simple and pretty. Okay, so I'm going to take you into my iPhone camera because sometimes it gets a little bit under those lights, you can't really see the details, but we are looking together today, which I'm very excited about. I'm doing an attempt at like a hill. Don't make me fall over and hurt my foot again. Lord have mercy. And I'm going to get my car service, and then we're going to get a train, and then we're going to head to the event, which I'm really excited about. I know there's a showroom part that I'll take you along with the journey. Come on. Actually, before I go, let me quickly go over my makeup. I always forget this now. So we've got House Labs mixed with Decipher foundation on the face because I am hopefully going to be working with Decipher next. We have NYX in the brows with Milk Gel. I always use MAC shadows, but I've got a very interesting colour from Makeup Revolution. It was in a palette that I had, and it's kind of like mud with silver in it, which I really like because it kind of looks a little bit textural without looking too eyeshadowy. And then on the lips, I've got my MAC, which, let me get it out. I never remember the name of this particular shade, but it's kind of the closest you can get to my lip colour, so I quite like it. And I like it more than a stain at the moment. Oh, look. I can't tell. I'm sure I've written it down in one of my videos. It's probably in the Vogue video that I did with the boy look. And yeah, it's quite cold today. I hope it doesn't rain because it's been raining all week. Oh, what mascara have we got on? We got House Labs, and yeah, good to go. I might get some hairspray when I get to the station in London, but I've stupidly left it to go for 3 o'clock, which is school time. So hopefully I'll be on time.